Let's be honest, in this day and age, it seems to be getting harder and harder to save, no matter where you are in the world. If you're in the UK like me, rising energy prices, anyone? And if you're in the US, multiple subscriptions, subscription upon subscription upon subscription, with rising fees, the cost of that is all going up just to stay in touch with the world. If you're from Africa or if you live in Africa, unexpected familial obligations come around. And then we also have unpredictable transportation, logistics prices. So all these things make it difficult to properly gauge how much you need to spend. But also, once we get past the spending and people who are earning a lot, you can get people who are earning multiple figures, six figures, and they still have an issue with saving money. Somehow it feels like all their earnings have slipped through their fingers during the month somehow, because they go on ridiculous spending sprees. And I think this is down to the fact that many of us have never been taught how to save. We just don't have the software. We haven't been given the tools to work with in order to save money. And this video, what the goal is to give you first 5 tips on how to save, actual strategies and techniques of saving. And then we have 3, let's call them motivational, or 3 things that will give you discipline, the mindset to save. That'll help your mindset. Yeah. So we have our 5 strategies and 3 tips for your mindset. The 5 strategies are to allocate, automate, pause, stash, and use cashback. So I'll get into those now. To allocate, firstly, the income that you get, you're going to have to allocate portions of it to your needs, your necessities. Then you have your wants. These are just things that, you fancy, don't really need them, but they'd be nice to have. And then allocate something to saving. So the good split to go with would be 50, 30, 20. 50% of your earnings goes towards your needs. This would be your rent, your utility bills, groceries, things that keep you alive. And then 30% can go to your wants. These will be more quality of life spending. So let's say your TV and PlayStation and those sort of things. You don't need them, but they're nice to have, right? And then 20% of your earnings can go towards your savings. So a 50, 30, 20 split. If 20% seems like a lot, if you're not there yet, you can start small. You can start with 5% of your earnings. This is crazy. Like 60% of adults in the Western world do not have enough money to cover a small emergency of, say, $1,000 or 800 pounds. That's crazy. So I think that would be a good goal to save towards. So if you haven't worked out how to save 20% yet, start small. Let's say 5% of your income can start going towards savings. And then you work up from there once you get the hang of it. So that's allocation. The second thing we can do is now automate our savings. So in my banking app, I have the option to start a savings account, and I have automatic standing orders from my main account, my current account. When my salary comes in, I can automate a standing order so that a portion of that income, that salary, goes towards the savings account, and then I just don't touch it. So you can automate your savings in that way. If you are in a place like Malawi or Kenya, you can use M-Pesa or your Airtel Money wallets. You can set up another wallet and have an automated payment into that when you get paid into your main account. So these are little automations that you can set up just so that you don't have to think about doing the saving yourself. It can all be automated on a certain day of the month, and it takes the thinking pressure off of you, and it's set up right there for you. So we've allocated, then we've automated. Now we have to pause. And what do I mean by pause? When you see something that you really like and something that you really want and you want to buy it, like, oh, new pair of Jordans just dropped. Oh, new PS5 game just came out. Pause. Wait 24 hours before you hit that purchase button. And on the next day, once you've had a day to reflect, you might find that the impulse has died. You might think, yeah, I don't really need it right now, do I? Or, let's wait until it's on discount, when it's on sale. Or, actually, it's not as fly as it looked yesterday. I don't think I need to buy it. You find that you don't spend as much once you give yourself a window of 24 hours to do something. The impulse kind of dies down, and I find that I've saved a lot of money that way, where I used to buy a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes, and in the last few years, I've slowed down on the shopping just because I don't allow the immediate want to affect me, because I do not hit the purchase button. Even if I'm in store, I just window shop, I look at it for a little bit, I come back the next day if I really want it. But otherwise, I do not spend on impulse anymore. And you end up saving quite a lot of money that way. So that's pausing, waiting, don't spend on impulse. That's number 3. Number 4 is to stash. And what do I mean by stash? Any windfall money. Let's say you get a tax refund that you weren't expecting, or if you get, you win the lottery and you weren't expecting to do that either, or if you get some money for some freelance work, any extra income that may not have been expected, or it wasn't 100% that it was going to come in, but it does come in, don't immediately spend that. Once again, if you get some money that comes in, give yourself 24 hours, maybe even longer than that, to think about what you're going to do. And in the meantime, put it into that savings account. And you might find you like the look of it in the savings account and you don't touch it. And give yourself a moment to think about what you're going to do with it, rather than spending it immediately. So that is stashing your windfalls. And the 5th thing is cashback. Cashback, there are a lot of these programs where if you shop on certain stores, or if you shop at certain stores, there are these loyalty cards and all kinds of programs where you can accumulate points for shopping. And if you're doing some shopping and consuming, you may as well use those points as a form of saving whenever you get the opportunity to. Once you've accumulated some points, you can put them towards another purchase. Like, shop at Sainsbury's, got a Nectar card, use the Nectar card for, the discounts, but also when we accumulate points, there are certain filling stations, gas stations, where we can use the points to purchase fuel with. So the fuel bill kind of has a discount because of the points, and you end up spending less. So you are saving in effect. So you can use those cashback points, accumulate those, use those. It's like frequent flyer miles in a sense, just that we're not flying anywhere. But these are ways that you can save. Those are 5 saving tips. Now, there are also 3 mindset hacks, or 3 things that you can do that can help you stay motivated and disciplined when it comes to the act of saving. The first thing is pretty easy. Just set a goal. If you have vague goals, you typically have vague results. So what you want to do is have a clear, defined goal as to what you are saving towards. You can say, I am saving £2,000 for a new laptop. You know what you want, you know how much you're saving, and I think it is also good to give it a time frame. So saving £2,000 to buy a new laptop next Christmas. That's a good goal. Set your goals, set clear goals that you can keep track of. And that's number 2. Keep track of your progress. So once again, you can do something like set up a spreadsheet in Excel where you keep track of all the savings that you're making, or you can get one of these new apps that track your productivity and management and time management and money management. So you can get an app to track your progress as well. So set goals, track your progress, and then the third thing is you can set up a community of like-minded people to help encourage each other to save. So you can have a network of like-minded people. And there's another thing that we do back in Africa called village banking. I think in South Africa, what is called the Stockville. In Nigeria, I think it's Esusu. In Malawi, I've never been sure on the traditional name. I know it's called Bank Nkonde by commercial entities. Like that's how they define it. But I don't really recall what the traditional name for it is. But anyway, there are these banking groups where you have an appointed treasurer who takes everybody's everybody has like a portion that they contribute to the village bank, and they all pay a little bit every month, and then the group treasurer can then allocate those funds to one member that needs to do something for who has a project coming up that needs some funding, right? So you can have those little groups. Of course, it requires trust, but that's what community is about. So you can have your goals, set goals, track your progress, and have a community, a network to help you save. These are things that help you stay on track. So I hope everybody has been able to take something from this video. If you did, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any savings techniques that you use, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to discuss this sort of thing. So thank you for staying tuned to this video. My name is Francis, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. All right.